Some people could barely conceal their excitement as they gathered to see Portlandia, all in one piece. As the visqueen curtain curled up out of the way, there she was, all 38 feet and 7 tons of hammered copper glory. Politicians, art patrons, and hard hats had the same reaction. Sculptor Raymond Kaskey expressed pride in his work, but not yet the full sense of relief he'll be capable of when Portlandia is installed on the front of the Portland building this Sunday.
I think time will make that judgment. Obviously, one wants to believe that, but you know, it's just really a matter of how it looks over time.
Former Mayor Frank Ivensee, who presided over the dedication of the Portland building 2 years ago today, thinks the statue will make Raymond Kaskey's name famous, as well as the Lady of Commerce he was commissioned to represent.
I think Portlandia will be the most important statue on the West Coast. Should be the kind of a statue compared to the Statue of Liberty on the East Coast. Kaskey's to be commended for putting this beautiful statue together, and a lot of hard work. And I would say that kind of funny in a way, the Portland building has launched the career of Michael Graves, and I think Portlandia will launch the career of Raymond Kaskey.
For a lady who only got to town a couple of months ago, Portlandia has already accomplished a great deal. Judging by the reception at the unveiling, she already has the city in the palm of her hand. On Northwest Front Street, Jim Hyde, Channel 2 News.
Portlandia had been a lady-in-waiting overnight, sitting on the barge that would take her to her final downtown destination. Over 100 river vessels of all sizes gathered to escort her upriver, from one-man kayaks to the stern-wheeler Columbia Gorge, which carried sculptor Kaskey. When the tugboat Idaho pushed her away just after 9:30, the fleet began the mile-and-a-half journey to McCall Waterfront Park. Several thousand people greeted Portlandia's arrival at the seawall. After a crane lifted her onto a flatbed trailer, Kaskey posed with his creation before the short ride to the Portland building. The work that was expected to last until sunset proceeded rapidly, and by 12:30, Portlandia had taken her place in the city skyline.
Yeah, I like it. It's neat.
I think people will enjoy it, see it. Good for the city.
Well, it's quite dynamic. Really adds something. She had a place to sit, and now she's finally there.
Feels real good. I feel 12,500 pounds lighter. That's all I think about it right now.
Admirers gave her flowers to hold. The deli across the street offered an edible tribute. The 6-ton, 38-foot-tall copper statue is definitely the toast of the town.
Very excited as we all are today. It's a fantastic day, and isn't she beautiful?
The dedication culminated 3 years of work for sculptor Raymond Kaskey, who modeled the statue's face after his wife Sherry. It also made critics of the Portland building feel better about the use of public money for artistic architecture. Michael Graves says the structure he designed was never really complete without Portlandia.
Well, I think it's much better with it, absolutely. And it was originally conceived with it, and now that the city has seen fit to complete the building through 1% art, it's a great day for all of us.
Portlandia, I dedicate you to all the citizens of the city.
Sculpture, I think, should be a smooth jolt, and this is my toast to the city of Portland and to Michael Graves' Portland building.
Arts Commission members say Portlandia is the perfect example of how public money can be used for artistic works, creations that will last long after the last dollar is spent. In downtown Portland, Dalton Tananaka, Channel 2 News.
It was conceived in early 1982, commissioned by the Metropolitan Arts Commission at a cost of $198,000. Portlandia was to symbolize the city's role as a gateway to Pacific Rim transportation and trade. And when then-Mayor Frank Ivensee visited Kaskey's Maryland warehouse studio, Portlandia was taking shape in a way not done since the Statue of Liberty. Because Kaskey was using the traditional copper pounding technique for the first time, the 2-year deadline proved too short. Money also was running out, but a public appeal last November raised an additional $15,000. The commission granted an extension. Mayor Bud Clark stopped in to check progress in March of this year, and by August, the unassembled statue was ready to be transported to Portland. Rail costs were donated, and after a 15-day journey, arrived in the Rose City. Gunderson Incorporated donated warehouse space in Northwest Portland for final assembly. Portlandia was unveiled on October 2nd, the result of one man's and a city's determination to complete the seagoing symbol. I'm Paula Gunnis reporting, Channel 2 News.
Portlandia is secure on her Fifth Avenue perch. Workers were just checking weld points and cleaning up this morning. Sculptor Raymond Kaskey was working up his last sweat, but says his love affair with the Copper Lady will last forever.
Yeah, I'm like an elephant. I never forget anything. I still like my work that I did when I was a freshman in college. Yeah, I like this.
From the bottom of her well-manicured toes to the tip of her trident, Portlandia is quite a show for passersby and nearby office workers with a line of sight. It was a steady stream of stop, look, and admire for office workers getting their first glimpse of their new neighbor. The sidewalk view is impressive, even more so at eye level. Workers in the adjacent building now have the best seats in the house, happy that the Portland Building pedestal has finally been filled.
I think it's an appropriate frontage for the building, and certainly gives us something else to look at. She's sort of peeking over our shoulder. That makes me a little nervous.
Champagne will be broken on Portlandia in dedication ceremonies tomorrow at noon. Kaskey then will leave for a vacation after 3 years of work on Portland's First Lady of Commerce.
Well, it looks good in the places that I wanted it to look good, or that I expected it to look good. Sometimes even better in places that I never actually expected it to look like anything in. I don't think there's any problem with foreshortening from down below. I think there are some unexpected views that are pretty exciting.
In downtown Portland, Dalton Tanonaka, Channel 2 News.